The Fire and Forget Linear Fusion Rifle is a weapon that, in terms of solo play, is second to best. And as a man that is fresh out of the solo Templar challenge, I could tell you that this was the weapon that I wish I had when doing it. Not that my firing line Storm Chaser is bad per se, but I was doing the rawest damage when I could have been doing so much better. We will be going into damage calculations later though. Getting into the perks, the main one people are going for does seem to be the Field Prep and Focused Fury. Now, Field Prep, in terms of a boss damage phase, is hands down the best perk, especially enhanced Field Prep. My last 3 weapon review videos were all about praising this perk. It maxes out your reload speed, even for a weapon like Fire and Forget that has a 2 reload speed stat. And on top of the reload speed, the extra reserves. It is too good to be true. And enhanced Field Prep boosts the reserves even higher, giving you intrinsic double reserves for this weapon. No armor swap needed. Now in terms of damage perks, we have 2 great ones to choose from: Focused Fury and Frenzy. Focused Fury gives you a 20% increase in damage if you land 50% of the magazine as a precision shot. Now for an aggressive frame linear, they shoot 3 shots per burst, and that means that for a weapon that has a magazine of the size 6, you will need to be landing at least 9 precision shots. Missing even 1 shot will mean that you will have to make up for it in the later bursts thereafterwards. Now Frenzy gives you a 15% damage bump for being in the fight for a solid 10 seconds. This means either enemies are around you or you are landing shots from afar. And as for my solo Templar run, I was in constant battle with very little time to lay down fire for more than 2 bursts. So for me, Frenzy does seem to be the better option. Not because my aim is bad, but just because I never had the time to land that 3rd burst. And even if I did land the 3 bursts, I couldn't reap the benefits of Focused Fury because it would be the 4th burst that has the damage bump on it. So what does this mean for the casual gamers? I'll tell you. Fire and Forget with Focused Fury is goated if the damage phase or fight goes beyond 15 seconds. In other words, you need to shoot 10 times total, which with Vice Stinger on this weapon is not a hard thing to do. To be honest, I never need to reload this weapon. But any damage phase less than 15 seconds, Frenzy will have Focused Fury beat. I have charts and numbers for this that I will be showing you later, but before I do, I need to list the other 2 weapons that people love to compare for damage when it comes to linear fusion rifles in Destiny 2. Cataclysm from the Vow of the Disciple raid, and Reed's Regret from the Trials of Osiris. The rolls that people love on these linears will be 4th times a charm and bait and switch for Cataclysm, and triple tap firing line for Reed's Regret. 2 very optimal linears. And just for the record, the weapon damage numbers are all based off of Carl here. Good man. Now I will show you the charts. First up, the total damage. These numbers show just what 1 mag with no Vice Stinger procced will look like. So you will see here that Focused Fury is just lacking, but not by much. But the absolute takeaway here is that Cataclysm is just such an overwhelming power, it's almost as if Bungie needed a way to sell a DLC. Other than that, the numbers are not lying to you fellas. Now I hope you guys aren't confused by the purple and yellow bars, for those are just here to simulate if you were to stack buffs and debuffs with these weapons. The red bars is all you need to look for in terms of damage that is paired with their respective damage and reload perks. Now that we looked at total damage, time to look at what really matters, the damage per second. Now for this chart here, this one also does not include Vice Stinger for the Fire and Forget and Reed's Regret. We will show you those numbers later. And with this chart, the truth is revealed. In terms of 1 mag expenditure, Reed's Regret does have the upper hand in terms of passing the competition later on in the fight, and Cataclysm is just still god tier. Now time to add in Vice Stinger. For these charts, I kept in mind the nerf that will be coming to Vice Stinger starting in Lightfall, to where once the perk is procced, it will only refill 25% of the magazine. And for weapons that hold at most 6 rounds, this means 1.5 rounds will return to the mag. Bungie could be nice and round up to 2 rounds return, but I'm going to round down for only 1 round returned in the magazine to show you the worst case scenario. Starting off with the total damage, it's looking tight. Cataclysm is getting close to being passed up, but still no dice. Can you believe that this wasn't a raid exotic? It's crazy. But with absolutely no feeding perks to dip into, this is where Fire and Forget will fall behind. Now for the DPS, nothing changes. Cataclysm being forever in the lead with total damage and DPS, this only means that even through passing of the time, Cataclysm will only further the gap between the rest. Now back to the review. With Reed's Regret having firing line, this requires a minimum of 2 other players with you. Now this is where Fire and Forget grabs the dub again. With access to Frenzy, this weapon with ease of use in mind can wipe the floor with Reed's Regret. On top of that, this linear fusion being stasis gives it just as easy as access to mods like Font of Might as well. So think about your loadout next time you're in an encounter, especially if you are soloing the encounter. I hope this video has helped you, and if it has, smash that like button and hit the subscribe. I love you all, and have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.